Rise and shine, guys. It's time to hunt. It's Thursday night again, Mike.
Tell you what, it's almost that time.
That's right. We'll be rise and shine early in the morning here before long. We're getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. Oh, well, folks, this is a one-year anniversary. Tomorrow, actually, is the one-year anniversary of the Hunting the Rut Hotline show. Started on September 11th of 2014. And, man, that year has flown by, Mike.
I'll tell you what.
Golly. And Don's still on the road doing seminars this week. He has been hitting it hard. He's been on the road for the last several weeks, all over the United States doing, shoot, Mike, he was in Camden, Michigan. Before that, he was in Missouri. The day before that, he was in Kansas. And so he's just been all over.
Citronelle?
And then Citronelle, Alabama, about a week or
forth.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. So he's all over the map right now. And we need to give Don a big shout out tonight. Give him a happy birthday. Today's Mr. Don Bell's birthday.
What did he turn? 70?
He might have a different number. But he, so we give him a big happy birthday there for
I was
Don.
just kidding, Don.
But anyway, we, Don in Camden, Michigan, we were at, or Don was at the archery spot, Guns and More in Camden, Michigan, and had a great show.
Big show.
Yeah, like, I want to say around 150 people there at the show. Some people drove over 2 hours to get there, and it was a outstanding show.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a great show. So you got some of those on the screen there? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was a good show.
Don's the guy over there on the right, sort of looking like his birthday's today or something.
That's it. That's it. All right, guys.
Don does a good job.
Oh, man. If you never heard him, he puts on a great seminar. Absolutely great. So, anyway, guys, well, hey, stay tuned with us. We're going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll get this show going, Mike.
Okay.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most. Natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free from collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
All right, guys, we're back. I think he's going to throw that. We cut to a commercial, but I think he's going to put that show photos back up there, the outstanding show that Don had the other night. That first picture, that Mr. Kim Bryant, I believe he's a club member, and we appreciate you, Kim. He actually sent a map in about the stand locations that time, and there he is with Don.
Looks like he's going to have a good place to hunt.
Yeah, sure is, sure is. Want to give a shout out to John and Tina Jenkins. They actually own the archery spot Guns and More up in Camden, Michigan. There they are.
John there on the John in the green, isn't it?
Yeah, big John in the green there.
I heard he's got a real nice place.
Yeah, great place over there. And
evidently people come from way off to come to his place.
Man, yeah, he said it's outstanding. Who's there? Who we got here? Okay, now there's a couple more. There's Jeremy and Dennis on the left there, and of course Don pretty in the right center. And we got a club member, Mr. Aaron O'Neill, on the right of Don. He's called in before. I think he's calling in tonight too.
Okay, all right. Get to talk to Aaron.
Yeah.
Again. Good.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, hey, they tell us to take a few Facebook questions,
right.
Mike. So
Do a
let's
little question and answer.
let's try this. Let's see. We got Stuart from Mississippi. All right, says, can you explain how the rut lockdown works? And Mike's going to give his take, and then I'll give my take and see what we come up with.
Yeah, because I've heard a couple of different views on it, but the older guys that I've talked to and what I've heard coming up as somebody that deer hunts is it really is sort of Mother Nature is taking over, and they're preparing. They're actually preparing the bucks to get ready for the peak of the rut, and they go through a stage of lockdown, and they're actually not moving that much. But what they're doing, they're feeding a lot and laying and bedding down a lot before the peak of the rut starts, because again, Mother Nature is taking over, and they're getting ready to do a lot of chasing.
A lot of energy requirement.
Right,
Okay.
and stuff. And, but, and then also, as the peak of the rut approaches, the bucks start tending the does, and they start laying right next to them, waiting for them to stand for them, and they stay locked down with those does right there with them, and they don't, visit the green fields as much and stuff like that, and they almost virtually seem like they disappear.
Right,
So
right.
you really have two things going on at the same time causing that lockdown.
Lockdown, yeah.
From what I understand.
Right, right. No, that's a good explanation. And whenever you say lockdown, that's my first thought is that buck is waiting for that tending doe,
Right.
and he won't leave her side. I mean, he's right there, and so he's not moving much wherever she's moving a little bit. So you're saying, man, we're not seeing anything. It's in lockdown. They're just not moving much.
Right, he's
So-
just staying close.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see here. Well, looks like we got a phone call coming in. Yep, there he is. All right, good night. You got Steve and Mike. Who we got here?
Got Aaron O'Neill.
Hey, Aaron, how you
about
doing?
it, Aaron?
We just showed your picture up there.
How you guys doing today?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Don try to get you to take him out for his birthday?
Pardon me?
Did Don try to get you to take him out for his birthday?
Well, we mentioned about it. He said he was kind of late. He was kind of tired from all the driving he was doing around. So
That gives you an idea of what his birthday is.
it was his birthday. He was trying a little bit, but he was concentrating on that seminar, though, man. He does a great job. I tell you, I watched him on the show a couple of times, and I see a couple of seminars that you guys have on a couple of different shows over the last year. But man, to watch this man in live, he's real good, man. Real good, real good.
Well, good.
A couple of my buddies that I went with there, one of them wants to be a club member, and he really wants to hunt because it's been a couple of years he hasn't gotten any deer or anything. So he was real excited about it. He said he learned a whole lot, and that was one of the things that I got out of it is, he asked me what I got out of it when I left, and I said, no, I got out of it what you got out of it. You learned something. You were excited, and that made me excited because, like I said, I've already been using you guys' product. I've been watching the show since last September, and I can't say enough about it, man. I mean, that's all I talk about all year long. We're not even hunting deer, and it's the middle of summer, and I'm talking about hunting the rut. So it's a great show, man. I mean,
Well,
it's awesome. Like I said, I knocked down 3 last year with no problem.
Well, great. Well, Aaron, sounds like you're a passionate hunter, and you're our kind of guy. I am too. So, man, we appreciate the kind words for that, and appreciate you being a club member.
What's that again?
I said we appreciate you being a club member.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. That was. I think that was one of the best changes when I did that because, like I said, once I became a club member, it's like, man, it changed my hunting game big time. And like I said, I learned a lot about deer, about what they do, pre, peak, and post. I learned a lot about it. I mean, when the show first came on. Like I said, when we were at the seminar up there in Camden, Michigan, my buddy, I was sitting there, and I can almost do the seminar word for word. I paid attention all the time. I've been listening to it so much, and like you say, you guys, it's the repeated thing, but it works.
Well,
it actually works. If you sit down and you think about it, the deer actually do what you guys say that they're going to do. And I've watched it, let alone just hunt the deer and shoot them. I actually watched it happen.
Right, right. Well, and the thing is, what I like about the scent and putting scent out, it's to me, it's kind of fun. It's actually you're doing something. You're not just going up, getting in the tree and hunting, which I love to do. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice that you can lay that scent trail. Then you can watch that deer come right down that trail to what you intended for him to do. So I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I say with the BioShield is good for the summer, but man, that 3-in-1 scent defense, man, I can't wait to use it. I didn't have it last year, but I got it this year. And like I say, if I use it in the combination, like I say, I done got all my stuff washed in laundry. It's put away in airtight containers. I can't wait to start taking the shower with the body wash, and then also the field spray. And just to check the deer out and see, if you do get winded, what's going to happen, just to see what happens.
Right. Well, I tell you what, I had we field tested it, and of course last year, and I know I've told this several times on the show, but man, I tell you, that first afternoon of bow season down in Alabama, man, I sprayed down because I tell you, it's so hot down here in bow season, especially the first day. And man, I sprayed down actually because it felt good spraying down. And man, I tell you, I had killed a buck that day. So I mean, it was a good testimony.
Yeah,
good testimony
right.
about the
that's
scent.
definitely one I want to get. Because like I say, this year, like I said, I was already like into the season before I could, get some of the products and try to do what I had to do, so it was kind of late into the, like around the middle of our season. But see, this year I got a chance to get the stuff, kind of prepare myself, for the season. And like I say, my thing of it is, I want to put something in the trophy room. I want to get me something big, get a picture of it, get it down to you guys in the
That's
trophy
what I
room.
like to
You guys
hear.
put that out.
I heard that. Well, that's great, man. That's great.
But I do got one question for you, Steve.
All right.
If you guys don't mind.
Sure.
Buddy of mine that was in the picture here, Jeremy. He's got a piece of property that he's hunting on. And last year he had a problem. He didn't see any deer at all. And I went out there to it, and we moved his stand to a better spot that I was thinking, because it's like early season. He kind of got his ladder stand maybe about maybe 50 yards off like a food plot, going into the woods. But I was telling him if he trailed in from where he came from like his vehicle, trailed in the scent, put it down about 15 yards away, and then Don was telling to get up and grunt, because he went and got himself a grunt collar. I don't know, what kind of percentage you guys will put on there, but I know that's one thing that you guys really talk about is, trail it in, trail the scent in, get up in your stand, and then grunt, and then that puts him downwind, and then work from there. Well, he was having a hard time. Like I said, last year he didn't get anything. So I'm just wondering if this year, when he puts, trails it in, should he trail it into his stand from where he leaves from his vehicle, or should he try to, come in from a different way of the woods or something or whatever? What's the best way he should be able to trail that in?
Well, I tell you what, Aaron. What I like to do, and what I did last year. Let's say if you talking about early season bow hunting or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With bow hunting, of course, for the buck urine, what I would do, I didn't actually do it from where I left the vehicle or left the golf cart or wherever you're hunting in. I actually, depending on how far the stand is, usually a couple of 100 yards, but I'll start it like if right where you start going into the woods, wherever your stand is, that's where I'll start it. Especially if you're like on a road, I'll hit it on that road, and that way, if they're crossing that road or they're walking down the road, they pick that trail up, and then they're going in there.
Gotcha.
But what I like to do specifically with the buck urine or the doe esters for that matter, if you're bow hunting, I like to trail it out and then trail it on the other side of my tree at about a 20-yard perimeter. Right. That way, I mean, you got them walking past you, like Mike said. You got them walking past you, and you can draw. Once they get right past you, you can draw without them seeing you. Plus, you got them broadside if they're trailing it like that. So that's my preference there.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure if he does something like, I'm just pretty sure if he puts the buck urine out and gets up and grunts, he should have an opportunity this year. Because like I said, he has no signs. I mean, he said he didn't see any scrapes or any rubs or anything like that. But I told him that really doesn't mean anything, because if you can catch him 20 yards to the left of you, or 20 yards to the right of you, or either 30 yards to the right of you, I mean, if you're sitting in your stand and they're walking 20 or 30 yards on each side of you, and you can't see them, they don't see you, they keep walking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, it's a great point. So, well, maybe, but hey, look, definitely tell him to grunt. Mike is a huge proponent of grunt. Mike has really mastered the grunt call, and he's really, really good with it and believes in it. I think you killed a real nice one last year with that combination with the scent and the grunt.
I got a couple of them.
And even down here in Alabama, where the grunt sometimes is not as effective as it is up in the north or the Midwest. So definitely, man, that just gives them that confirmation.
And I'll tell you, adding on to what you were telling him, one thing I like to do is if I got plenty of time to be there at the stand, is to go into the stand, go into the green field. If I got time, I'll go ahead and walk across the green field and make a trail across and sort of do a half moon back. Just if you can imagine how a deer would feed around and come right back to your stand, if you make a trail going up to your stand, you have the possibility of that wind blowing right straight at him,
right, as
he's coming towards you. You really don't want to take that chance. As much as we talk about scents and stuff, the nose,
right.
If he picks that up, he may just, as well as your scent may be destroyed with scent defense and stuff, he may still pick up enough that he just don't
not comfortable
with, may want to come in later or something. And but if he comes in downwind from you and hits that trail, I think you'll be successful, especially if you use that grunt tube.
Well, that, and you can't use too much of that foam or the regular liquid. You can't use too much of it. So
and that drip too. If you could get up there and set that drip to just drip slowly.
Yeah.
I mean that thing is a ticket, and you've got to work the grunt.
Right.
The right time of the year. You don't want to, I don't like to overdo it, but at the same time,
right.
I won't underdo it.
Yeah.
I'll overdo it before I underdo it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you say when you say underdo it, if you was getting your tree stand and you start grunting, I mean, what, you do it like every 15 minutes?
About every 15 minutes.
Half hour?
Whenever you're getting close to the peak of the rut, I'm doing it about every 15 minutes, hitting a series, what I call a series, about every 15 minutes.
Okay.
Now, when it gets close to the rut, now you really go into that long grunt. Don't you?
It's called a roar, and I mean, if he's 100 yards away, he's going to hear it.
It's loud, and he'll pick it up a long way off.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like to say, because like I said, I'm like I said, you guys got me hooked on the grunt call. I used last year, not as effective as I thought I should have, and not as much, because there was a couple of times I went out in the woods without it. I put the scent down, but I didn't grunt at all, and wasn't so successful those times. But now I see what you're saying is like, I'm really gonna change it around with this, with going out with the grunt. But I was thinking for him with the same way. If he had no deer around and no signs and no nothing, I'm just trying to find a way for him to try to attract, because deer's got to be in the area. I mean, he's in about maybe 40 acres between. He's on the 10-acre parcel, but he's got 40 acres of woods around him, and it's not a lot of pressure, because he doesn't. I think he's like one other person that may hunt, so the pressure's not real bad. So he's got to find something. I'm just thinking they just walked by him last year. He just missed them. Or whatever, but man, I'm pretty sure that he caught a nice 6-point on his camera last year, so they're there. It's just that he hasn't seen them, and that's why I took him to the seminar, and man, he got hooked on it, and as everyone down was talking about the grunt call and putting the scent out, so I was just wondering how he should do it. Like you said, if he should go out and make a half moon in his field, trail it in, I was trying to give him some tips, because he's watching the show right now, because I called him and his dad. Him and his dad both are watching the show right now. So that's why I was asking for him, what tips that he could do to try to get those bad boys to come in.
I heard that. Well, Aaron, man, hey, when you kill that buck and when Jeremy does, y'all send that picture in. We love to put those in the trophy room. It's especially now that we're talking about it before the season. It's always nice to put that in the trophy room when success comes from it. So, no, we appreciate it, man.
Tell us your story too.
That's right.
We like to hear those stories.
I always love to hear the hunting story.
Absolutely. I'll call back in and give you guys a story because I love calling into the show, man. It's
like
awesome. I mean, I was hooked on it since last September, man, and I've been hooked on this show ever since, man. And like I say, I talk about it a lot. I talk about all the guys that work. Like I got a lot of hunters at work. So, man, it's hunting the rut with Don Bell, man, and the top secret, man. I brag about it. So.
Well,
we put him on the payroll.
Success with it last year, so I hope this year I have even better success this year.
Oh, man, we sure hope so. Well, Aaron, we appreciate you calling in tonight, man. And, hey, man, be safe and kill us a big old buck this year.
Good luck.
All right, man. All right, I will. You guys keep doing what you're doing, man, because I love it. Like I say, I'll support you guys no matter what, man. If I got to drive 2.5 hours, I'll drive 2.5 hours like we did. But like I say, I support you guys big time, man. So like I said, I got to get my buddy Jeremy to become a member, and then I have one around, and we get everybody else around and get, follow with you guys, because I say you guys do an awesome job, man. And like I said, you help all the hunters, all the non-hunters, and everything else, man. You guys do a great job.
Well, thank you very much, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, bud. We'll talk to you later, bud.
See you later, man.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Man, I'll tell you what. Now, that's my kind of guy. He's a passionate hunter.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was passionate, but it's always nice to see somebody that really gets excited like that. But anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, Mike.
All right, man.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free from collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
All right, folks, we're back, and hey, I think we got a caller on the line, Mike, already. Oh, yeah, there we do. All righty, you got Stephen Mike Burklow. Who we got tonight?
Hey, Jason Ritchie.
All right, Big Jason, you calling in from Wichita, Kansas?
Yes, I am.
Man, I heard that. I tell you what, now you in a good part of the country there. I was, a friend of mine and I, just real quick, we were coming up interstate coming just south of Wichita, coming in a couple of years ago to go on a bow hunt. Man, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were hitting at about 80 miles an hour, and we had a big 8-point come right out in front. Man, it smashed the front end of my truck, did a huge amount of damage. And so we limped on into Wichita and had to get a rental car for the week, but ended up being a great hunt. I killed about a 130, was a small buck, but my buddy killed a 170, about a 173. It was a hoss. So, man, I can't wait to go back to Kansas this year. Didn't get to go last year, but Big Jason, what's your question tonight, bud?
Well, my question is I just got I knew the property previously. A friend of mine leased it, and now I'm leasing it. And the question is the neighbor got 3 200-inch deer last year.
Wow.
Shit.
And I don't know why the lease that I'm leasing, why there ain't any there. And I don't know where the best place to try to hunt, because it's obvious the person before never seen any big deer or got pictures of any big deer. So, I mean, what would be the best way to find out how,
right.
you know,
I know what I would do.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But
Oh yeah. How big of property is it?
it's 440 acres.
Oh, wow.
And then the neighbors is 440 acres.
Okay. What is it like? Is it all fields?
It's pasture. Yes, it's pasture, and it got some real deep ravines, and it also has. It's not extremely wooded, but it does have some woods on it.
It sounds typical for Kansas for sure. Well, I tell you what, Mike, I
Well, you're a lot more familiar with that terrain.
well,
So you go ahead.
Well, definitely. Now, me, just from the look now, and I may not, because I've hunted Kansas and Illinois, but I've only hunted Kansas just a little bit, and it is different from Illinois and some of the other Midwest states. It's a little more open, not as many trees, but I tell you what, getting in those little wooded area. Are you talking about bow hunting or gun hunting or both?
Or both.
Both. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, do you have any agriculture on or do you plant food plots or?
Yes, right up against the same property, right up against it, there's beans planted right now, and he's fixing to cut those and put in winter wheat.
Winter wheat?
And this is adjacent to the property that I'm leasing. I mean, it's right up against it, the same owner.
Right. Well, yeah, to me, I mean, if you can get in those little wooded corridors, especially bow season, if you of course, trying to get close, and use buck urine and grunt. Use buck urine and grunt. The early season, well, buck urine from the first day of the season all the way to the end of the season. But then, of course, add your estrus whenever the peak of the rut gets near. But yeah, use that grunt. And like Mike said a while ago, when you're using that estrus in the rut, he likes to use that grunt and also that buck roar, which is very effective in Kansas. Matter of fact, I had one that really snort wheezing at me in Kansas, which is also effective. But that does help your chances. It sounds like, I don't know what the difference is of what he's got over on his property holding those deer.
He's doing something.
Well, that's some guys from Texas. That's their lease, or actually they own the property. But this property is used for it, and it also they keep year round, and they also have plots on the property. But you would think that they would still come off of it.
Oh,
yeah,
they will.
If the doe's hot or something, you think they, a buck would follow her.
Right. They will, and hopefully this year you'll get lucky and get that. Now, do they have any creek, or do you have any creeks running through your property?
Yes. And one of the real deep ravines, this is in Fall River, Kansas, so it's in the Flint Hills. So there's some real deep ravines, and in the bottom of those, of course, is running water. I mean, they're running. There's water in them, is what I'm saying.
Right. That was real successful. When I was in Kansas, we had one of the little leases that we were hunting had a river actually ran through it. And man, the bucks that came out of that river bottom that they never even had on camera was amazing. The different bucks that showed up. I had like 4 or 5 8 points running crazy around me, and they were just different bucks that had come out of that traveled a pretty good ways. So they will travel. So yeah, don't give up on them, but yeah, use your sense and your grunts. Maybe that'll give you a little advantage as well.
And I'll
Well, I
tell you.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And if your lease is next to a lease where they've killed 200-inch deer, man, I absolutely would not give up on that lease.
Right.
Unless I just got fired from it somehow, or
Well, seeing it's crazy because the only reason I ended up with this leasing outfitter come in and wanted to lease this guy. He had 1,700 acres and wanted to lease some of his property, and that was the best spot just because we know the history next door, and that was the best spot. He didn't like it, so he leased some property that I've been leasing for the last 15 years. So he took that from me, but out of that, I got the better property. So,
Well,
I mean,
hey, you know
I
what?
just hope that Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm sorry. It may just been a bad year last year,
Yeah.
you know, and now the person that hunted it last year, do you know them real well?
Yes, I know him real well, but see, he's been hunted for 10 years.
Oh,
And
okay.
has never got over a 150-inch deer.
Well, that's
But they
yeah.
have every single year because these Texas folks have owned that property for 10 years as well. And they're always getting 180 and up. They won't even shoot anything under 180 inch.
Wow.
That's the kind of neighbor you really sort of
That
want.
is the kind of neighbor you want. Of course, you know, doing everything. I don't know what they're doing. Of course, keeping your scent in check, using the right wind. Of course, all that matters. And
How well do you know them?
The Texas folks?
Yes.
Yeah, very well. I mean, I get T-bone steak with them.
That's good.
I mean, when they come in town, they're here. When they come in town, they're here for a month.
Yeah.
And part of bow season in the rifle, and they're really nice folks. Now they wouldn't let me hunt on their property. Don't get me wrong.
Not that nice.
Not
huh?
that nice.
Yeah, they're not that nice, but they're really awesome people. And I just
Well, that's
don't know.
good.
Brad's the guy that leased the land that I'm leasing now, and he's never got anything really, great. I mean, I've never hunted it.
How-
I don't even. I know where his stand was.
How does their terrain differ?
Well,
I almost want to be up against their fence line, not literally right up against their
Right,
fence line,
right.
but I want to be able to see their.
I
fence
can
line.
understand why.
yeah, I can understand why. Like Mike said, well, Jason, is their terrain similar to yours pretty much, or is there anything
Yeah,
really
it's
different?
just more overgrown.
Theirs is more
Be a
overgrown.
little bit to do with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that could have a lot to do with it because I mean, when you have sanctuary like that, really makes them feel comfortable. They don't have to travel if they got all the necessities right there. They have cover, which is huge.
Especially if they have feed. And it sounds to me sort of like if I was going to guess if anything's going to hold deer in the area, it's going to be their stomach.
Yeah,
I mean, if
Right, and they absolutely got everything they need there.
yeah, and that
I
could
mean,
be.
if they're able to, I mean, I don't know how the supplemental feeding thing exactly works in Kansas, but it sounds to me like they could be hitting with some supplemental feeding. I don't know
Yeah,
but,
and you might try that. And you may already do
if you
it.
can do that, especially before the season. I don't know if you can outfeed them, but it sounds to me like if they're coming up from Texas, they're making it worth their while.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
But
yeah.
Well, money is no object whatsoever with these folks. And,
yeah, they're making it
and-
worth their while. Then
Yeah.
they're really feeding the deer. To me, that's what if I had to guess, and if I were rolling the dice, I would think that's what
Probably feeding the
is
heck out of them.
feeding the fire out of them.
Yeah.
And
So is that pretty much the way a doe would work as well? I mean,
Yes.
you could pretty much keep a doe in place instead of
Yes.
her not traveling.
Absolutely.
I mean, it could, unless your younger bucks, and you may be seeing younger bucks, are going to travel further. So you may be seeing younger bucks. Are you seeing younger bucks?
Yes, yeah. He sees bucks, all the time. It's
Yeah.
just not anything.
The mature bucks are staying there.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
and he gets bucks every year. I mean, he gets a buck every year. It's
Right.
just he's not getting anything like
Right.
what they're getting next door.
Right. Well, yeah. If I don't know if you could create any more thick habitat.
Yeah, if you could do that, that would be a great. If you could, if the person you're leasing the property from would let you create a sanctuary, about a 50-acre sanctuary
Man, that would help tremendously.
that you don't even hunt, that you
don't
just
even step foot into.
don't even step foot into it, don't even hunt close enough that your scent blows into it.
Right.
That would be a huge benefit.
Of course, you may have to pay a little extra for something like that for him not
And
to.
it's pasture for his cattle, so he doesn't necessarily want it to
Right.
go up. I mean, he don't want it, to be let go. And I mean, he has it sprayed and everything. But the thing is Brad has only hunted in one spot for the last 10 years.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
now
a
you got
big
now.
problem.
Now they'll pattern you, so you got to move. Yeah.
They know right where
Yeah,
you're.
he's hunting in the same spot, and he's hunting over a pond.
Oh man,
He's
no.
Yeah,
hunting
yeah.
in the same spot, but there's this pasture going up to the fence line between, the two pieces of property that no one ever even goes there.
Oh, that sounds fantastic there. Yeah, you got to
And
move.
I was just thinking, honestly, I don't know the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm just being a pretty novice hunter, even though I've hunted for, well over 15 years. It's just, I ain't always done it right. I've had bug fever many a time. So,
Sure.
the
I
biggest
still
deer
get
I've
it.
ever got is a 130-inch deer.
Yeah,
So,
well,
and that's probably because I wasn't patient enough, and I get too excited when I see a nice deer, and that. So,
Good.
but luckily I ain't on that property. And the guy that is on the property that I'm hunting or leasing now, he was like he should have been, He didn't just shoot anything,
right.
So I'm trying to do it right, and I had the opportunity to ask you guys, and what you thought I should do. So you think I should set something up in that pasture?
I would definitely set up along any kind of where you've got woods breaking into pasture, where you have wooded areas that are between bedding areas or wooded areas between feeding or anything like that. Absolutely be in there. They're going to use those to transition between them.
And like you said, get down in that along the creek bottom.
That
and
creek
stuff.
bottom, absolutely.
That's going to be a major highway.
Right.
Yeah, see, the entrance going into that ravine is extremely wooded. Now, all of their property is extremely wooded and overgrown.
Oh yeah. Well, they're holding the deer.
I was wondering
Yeah.
if that wouldn't be a good place right there and try to intercept them.
Absolutely.
Because the farmer, the landowner, says that he sees deer going down that ravine.
Oh,
when he's
absolutely.
out in the cattle. So,
Man, that's where I'd be. Try it opening day.
You know what? Ask him if he
and
could
that's
send a
what-
picture like
what's
that
that
other
going
guy
to
did.
be October 4th?
Oh, is that when your season opens?
Well, no, our season's already open.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is, ain't that a good time for rut?
Now you talking about in Kansas? Typically in Kansas, the rut starts around the 1st of November. Is when it really starts to heaten up. You may get a little pre-rut action there in kind of 1st of October, but typically it really starts heating up right there at the very beginning of November. But still, I mean, you have deer moving through there, like you said. But I would definitely, like you said, if he sees deer there, hey, I definitely, you definitely want to try different areas for sure. I don't even know that I'd even go back into that stand that's been hunted for 10 years because it sounds like they're used to it.
Ask him if he got a game
Yeah,
camera he can set
and
up.
that's what I was thinking. My brother's had the opportunity to hunt that same location in the past because that guy wasn't there or whatever the case was. But he says he thinks that they know you're right there. They see you.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And yeah, they're smart. I mean, they will. So, well, man, get in there and try it and let us know what kind of
if he's got a
success.
game camera, too.
Hopefully, you'll be sending us a big old buck picture. I'm hoping.
Well, I hope it's the one that you guys just showed on Facebook because that was pretty awesome. Proud of that young man.
right.
Do you have a trail camera?
Yes, I do.
I would
But
set-
I haven't put them up yet. I just got access to this property a week
Oh,
ago.
okay.
Oh, I hear
And
you.
I'm going out there this weekend.
Good deal.
Definitely put some in that ravine or put one in that ravine that you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, and if you get a good picture, then send us those pictures. We'd love to see it.
Okay, I'll sure do that, and I appreciate you guys' time.
Okay.
All right, Jason. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Yes, thanks a lot. Bye.
All right, bud. Bye. All right, man, that's a great question there.
Yeah.
Sound like he's got a great
And
place.
he's excited, too.
Yeah.
He's got a great place.
Absolutely. Well, hey guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, come back and do it all over.
Let's do it.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Estrus, the finest doe estrus ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 0.1% Club.
All right, folks, we're back, and hey, we wanted to take this time part of the show, Mike, to talk about the club. As we were talking to Aaron a while ago, he's a big club member and
Firm believer.
Yeah, firm believer, and enjoys all the benefits. I tell you, you can't beat. You got a 26-ounce bottle of of in-process urine. I mean, it's
The best.
the best of the best. So, man, and it breaks down to like $3 or $4 an ounce. I mean, you can't beat that as far as price goes. You got enough for a lot of hunts right there.
Keep the oxygen out, and
Yeah,
but you can keep using it.
absolutely. Keep the oxygen out. It's good.
Doesn't go bad like some others.
No, it doesn't go bad. So if you don't use it all, it's good next year. As long as you keep the oxygen out of it, it's good. So there's a lot of club benefits. They may have already put it up on the screen there. But we'd love to have you join. There's only 12,000 bottles, Mike, for 12 million deer hunters. So therefore, 1/10 of 1%. So get your bottle. Now it's time of the year. There's no forepay now, I don't think. It's too late. So now you buy it, you'll get it. Because it's getting ready for the hunting season pretty much everywhere now. Some, like he said, like Jason said, it's already started.
Open.
Yeah, I think it's muzzleloader actually in Kansas just started, I think it's just muzzleloader, which is kind of strange. You would think bow season be first, but actually I think it's muzzleloader, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, maybe somebody can clear that up for me if I'm wrong. Anyway, we got another phone caller here, Mike. We're going to see what we got. Yep. All right, you got Steve and Mike Burklow. Who we got?
It's Pat.
All right, man. You said Pat?
Yep, Gilphil and calling from Canada.
All right.
Big Canada, man. I tell you, up in there in the cold country.
Yep, Ontario.
It don't get as cold down here in Florida.
Actually, she was pretty cold here last year.
I bet it was. Well, Big Pat, what kind of question you got tonight?
Well, actually, I think it's going to be more for Steve on the bow hunting one I have this time.
All right, what you got?
Our bow season starting 1st of October.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a pretty hot spell right now. Like up, I guess it'd be 80, 90s for you guys, up in our 35, 40 Celsius.
Mm.
And for what I've been doing for my bait and everything, is that heat, I haven't seen any sign out there when I've been out checking, haven't even seen anything on my cameras. Would the heat have any effect on that?
Well, definitely. To me, I think it does because, but now they don't move as much because it's hot and man, they're wearing a coat of fur, especially up in Canada. They're wearing a coat of thicker fur. So it's going to limit their movement. However, I know down in Alabama that opening week of bow season is my favorite, if not my favorite week to hunt because the deer have been laid off of for a year. It may still be hot, but now you can still catch those bucks unaware. And but yeah, as far as movement, it's going to be a lot more limited if it's hotter. Absolutely.
Anything I can change up in my way I'm doing things?
Well, a couple of things that I would think about if you're the type food you're using, if you might change it up to something that may be, I don't know, may be have a little bit better smell or something that they're not used to that might entice them to come in. Also, early season, use buck urine and grunt. Sometimes that curiosity will just kill them, and they'll come in and check out who the new guy is on the block. So
yeah, like I got a Magnum drip out there.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So
I'm trying to get a hold of trying to get the foam sent up to me because I'd like to try your foam this year.
Right. Well, hey, that's easy, man.
I actually haven't sent. I already was talking to one lady there, but I haven't tried any of your stuff, like the top secret stuff yet either.
Oh man, you'll be successful with top secret.
We can only use the synthetic stuff up here, right?
Well, that's a good point. That's right. And we do have the synthetics. That's on the website. Just topsecretdeerscent.com. Synthetics are listed on there now. And the foam, man, is just a great way. That's my favorite, the foam is. And I like it because you can foam it out there at 20 yards and just have that deer, right where you want him. 20 yards is my favorite bow shot.
Yeah, that's about mine too.
Yeah.
Ever since Don first had me on the show, or talking to you guys back in June, you weren't on there. You were on holidays or something.
Right. Yeah.
And ever since then, I've watched your show every night, and even though I haven't used your stuff yet, I've learned a lot from listening.
Well, we appreciate that, and hey, we always love pictures, man, and I always love stories. So, man, we hope you have a lot of success.
Sent one to Don here a little while ago from another spot.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a nice buck I sent him. That was on trail cam this year.
Fantastic, I love Canada. I love those dark chocolate horns. I always love that. Fascinated by that. So, man, I've only been hunting up there once, but I sure love to go back.
Well, I'm only about 2.5, maybe 3 hours south of North Bay is where I hunt.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, one other question I had for you for bow hunting was, we can bow hunt from now until our rifle season is the 1st of November there for 2 weeks, and then we go back into bow season. How long would you wait after rifle season?
To pick up your bow and go back in?
Yeah. This area where I am is Crown Land. They usually use a lot of dogs, and she gets rowdy pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. And Mike, just because it's bow, I tell you, it may take a few weeks for them to get comfortable coming out. If they're running dogs. Yeah.
But
I don't, but there's a few gangs around me that do. I usually wait about a week.
What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, Steve, back in the day, whenever I was first growing up deer hunting, that's the way everybody did it, around here.
Right.
Running dogs. And to me, as I got older and got in high school, they started making areas that it was still hunt only and you could use dogs. And what surprised me more than anything was how people would run dogs in those areas and how the deer would run, they'd run the deer out, but how they would just filter right back in that area almost overnight.
Really?
Yeah. I'm the biggest rubs and the biggest scrapes were right there where they ran the dogs. I could never get over it. I don't know if it's because they were wanting to, freshen them up again, or I never figured it out. I didn't ever hunt in the dog hunt area, but I did go over there and dog hunt with people every once in a while, and I was just flabbergasted at the deer sign over there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of contradictory, you would think.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And they killed big deer in there almost every other day.
Yeah. Well, to me, you would think.
There is some big deer around in here, and
I bet.
I've seen the tracks, and they look like they're pretty good, and some on trail cams, but can't seem to get them.
Right. Yeah, well, they're tough. Tough.
I would think it would make them a little more nocturnal.
Yeah, it may, like Mike said, may make them a little more nocturnal. So, when is your rut? Is it mid-November?
Usually.
Yeah.
Usually about, I'd say towards the end of the first week. Like I say, the first 2 weeks of November is our rifle season. Usually going in about the end of the first week, the ruts
kicking in pretty hard. Well, and look, right after.
It depends on our weather too, right?
Right. Well, and hey, when rifle season's over, if they're still doe cycling, take some estrus foam or something like that. Hey, you might be able to jump them up if they're. I may pull them in right there and grunt, of course, grunt. But that'd give you a little advantage there.
Last year our season was. I don't know how you say it. It was actually quite funny because our temperatures seemed to be all right. We didn't have any snow yet, but on my trail cam, I was out grunting and doing my spray and stuff, rattling, and nothing coming out of it. I got skunked last year actually, and but I go back in and check my trail cam the next morning, and they were running through there like 11, 12 o'clock at night till 1 in the morning, and
yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah, everybody has to. Unfortunately, experience that, but
that's how they live.
That's how they survive. That's how they survive. But that's why I like the early season because they're more comfortable coming out during the daytime. But well, I tell you what, try you some top secret this year, and hopefully, maybe give you that advantage to kill that old big, and they're there.
Yeah. We definitely know they're there. Yeah. And actually, watching Don last week there, I learned something new about how to get that...
nocturnal buck, right.
That mature buck that we've been trying to get and can't get them.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeves. That's great.
So,
Well, Pat, man, we appreciate you calling in. Was that all the questions you had tonight?
other than we need to get Don to have one of his seminars up here.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well, hey.
Get him up here to Kingston or the Belleville area, just across the border there in Gananoque even.
All right, well, we'll work on that. All right, Big Pat. Well, man, we appreciate you calling in tonight.
Alrighty, thanks for listening.
All right, bud. We'll talk to you later.
Finish watching the show, and I'll see you next Thursday.
All right. Appreciate it, Pat.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, we're going to cut to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Repel and kill the bugs that bug you most with the all-natural 100% deep-free BioShield.
You've waited your whole life for this moment. Don't spoil your opportunity because of poor preparation. Keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Fog Zero.
Introducing Scent Defense, a revolutionary 3-in-1 formula from Top Secret. Infused with antimicrobial silver copper synergy technology to attack odor before it starts. Fortified with NeuroX to attack and repel insects instantly. Scent Defense is specifically formulated to attract deer while simultaneously destroying odor. Scent Defense, the 3-in-1 formula for success. You've worked hard all summer to get everything just right. Don't leave the rest of it to chance. Use the finest deer urine ever collected and the only one in the market that is oxygen-free from collection to bottle. Get ready. It's time to hunt.
Yeah. All right, folks, we're back, and I think, Tom, what we was going to we got an upcoming schedule. We kind of wanted to. Oh, no question and answer here. All right, we got some Facebook and Ustream questions we're going over. Let's see here. What's the difference between the 26-ounce bottle of reserve estrus versus your 3-ounce bottle of estrus, the regular Hot Mama estrus? Well, the biggest difference, Mike, is the 26-ouncer is in process, which means right in the act of mating is we pulled that old buck right off the doe, and that is the real deal. It's the real stuff. So
I mean, it don't get no better.
They don't get no more premium than that. Plus, it's oxygen free, so it's not breaking down, not ammoniating. Right. So it's fresh. So and for the price, you think $100. My gosh. But it breaks out to be cheaper than the 3-ounce if you look at it. So you just got, you got enough for the whole season just about, depending on how much you use. Yeah, and it's better than anything out there. And like I said, and what we said a while ago, it's not going to go bad as long as you keep the oxygen out of it. So, so there you go. That's the biggest difference right there. Top Secret website question says, which part of the rut do you prefer hunting most? You take it, Mike, and then I'll.
Well, the part that I like to hunt the most is whenever it's in Alabama anyway, especially in January, when you're starting to get close to the peak of the rut. The running is really started by the younger bucks. You just have that excitement. You're seeing deer running. You're seeing those bucks coming chasing. Hunting, I really like to prepare for hunting season. But whenever you see those bucks come out and they're chasing those, you hear that grunting going on over your shoulder behind you in the woods, and you don't know how big he is. Here he comes.
That anticipation.
To me, just right before the peak of the rut and that chasing's going on is my favorite time of the rut to hunt.
I absolutely can't agree more. That is by far the funnest time as far as the rut goes. It's great. They're grunting and they just raise the hair on your neck.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's definitely our favorite.
Was it guy from Kansas, Jason?
Yeah.
He's talking about how he gets buck fever. He's got buck fever several times.
Well,
I can just hear that grunt in the woods coming or something, and I just immediately try to start controlling my breathing because
it's coming, and you got to prepare for it. So, That's right. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with buck fever. That keeps us coming back.
That's
right. It keeps us excited. But all right, let's see here. We got a Facebook question. What is the best way to set up scent as far as tree wicks, pour on the ground, cotton balls? Any suggestions? Well, I tell you what, with Top Secret, and we've talked about it before, my preference is the foam because ease of use. You don't have to have scent saver. It's oxygen free every pump. And honestly, I like to trail it right on the ground. You don't need anything else, Mike. You don't need to carry cotton balls, wicks, or any kind of drag. You just foam it right on the ground, and that foam will stay there a good while. And I always like to hit some low bushes too. That way if buck comes across, he'll smell it. But right on the ground is my favorite.
Yeah, and another reason that I like the foam so much, Steve, maybe it's not important, but I like it. I can walk. A lot of times I'm walking down the road to get to a stand or a green field or something. I like to walk well on one side of the road, and that foam you can get it out there.
You can shoot it out.
So if a deer hits your trail coming in or hits a trail that you're making
he's not on your trail.
He's not on your trail,
right.
And he might, unless he comes from the wrong side.
Right.
But, hopefully luck will get it to where he hits your trail from this direction and trails you in or something like that. And with that foam, you can do that. With just a liquid, you can't.
It's tough, yeah. But that foam, boy, you can trajectory it out there.
10 feet.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Yeah, that's right.
But also, I tell you, whenever I like to, make a trail in or make a trail, but the drip bag that we have out now, I just love that.
Yeah, the deer bladder.
You can open that up and let it drip, and you're constantly letting a fresh
scent out every
there.
drip. Yep.
And then you close it off whenever you leave, and then the buck starts pattern when you're in there, when it's the freshest and stuff.
Right. That's right.
I really like that.
I do too. And folks,
instead
this year,
putting wicks up and stuff, and trying to keep up with wicks when it gets dark at night.
Well, and it's older. It gets old.
That's right.
It
gets old and stuff.
Well, and folks, now this year, Mike, we got it in the pack. We have a big 60 cc syringe. So if you can take some Top Secret and draw it up, and you can reload the deer bladder this year. So if you use it up, that's fine. You can just reload it, take it with you. You got another, so you don't have to buy a whole new one. You can use a 3-ounce, load it right back up.
Right.
All right, guys. Tom just handed us some show dates here. We kind of missed it here at the first of the show, so we're going right back over it. Big Don's on the highway, as we said, and let's see, he's going to be on September the 12th, Mike. He's going to be in Bourne, Texas.
Bourne, Texas.
At Twisted Oak Hunting. And then in Outlaw Sporting Goods in Greenwood, Mississippi. He'll be there on 9/14, September the 14th, 7 o'clock. Also, Southside Mart in Forest, Mississippi on 9/15, so the day after at 7 p.m. And then he's coming over to Alabama on 9/17 to
Gunnersville.
To Outdoor Addiction in Bay Minette.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is Bay Minette, Alabama on 9/17. And then the next day, Gunnersville Tackle is in Gunnersville, Alabama at 7 o'clock on 9/18. So
wow.
Got Texas, then 2 in Mississippi, then 2 in Alabama. So for over the next week or so. So, man, he stays busy this time of year, but Don's passionate about it, and he puts on a great show. So, and look, the show on 9/17, Mike, over in Bay Minette at Outdoor Addiction is a live show. We're going to film the Hunting the Rut show. Is going to be live streamed from that show over there at Don's seminar that night.
Don does a good job. So
so you don't want to miss that one.
Don't want to miss that one.
Yeah, it'll be a good show. So, shoot, we got time for another question. We'll hit.
Aaron will be watching.
Yeah, Aaron will be watching that. You get to maybe pick up another thing we might have missed from the last seminar.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. It says Jody from. It doesn't say where he's from. Just Jody. Is the whole area shot or no good when a deer blows? Do I need to leave the area after a deer blows? And I think we've had that question before, Mike. And
I think somebody has asked that.
Yeah, and my answer is
but it's
absolutely.
a good question because
it is good.
You know, I know how I feel when a deer blows.
Yeah, it's aggravating. You're thinking, man, there ain't nothing else coming in here. And
warned everything.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it's not messed up to me.
I don't think it gets messed up because, you know, they do it all year long.
All year long, and they'll blow at anything, and those will sometimes.
And the thing is, it's like somebody, you know, yelling, and you hearing somebody yell, and you don't see it. You don't see what they're yelling at. You just sort of, okay. But, you know, sometimes, you know, if a deer's close by and then maybe they're already skittish. I mean, you know, you have days that it's real windy. The deer are just going to be skittish no matter what. You know, that it just takes a deer blowing one time to scare them off. But, you know, I don't think they go too far. And if you got enough time, they'll come back. If you're on a green field,
yeah.
And I think if you're in the woods, especially, and the deer blows, I've sat there and watched a buck while a doe has just sat there and blow and blow and blow and blow and blow, and he'll look in that direction, and then just sort of go back to doing what he's been doing because he doesn't see anything.
Right. Yeah, them does they get a little funny, and boy, they'll get skittish. But them bucks, they're more on a mission. I ain't paying attention to that. So yeah, I feel the same way.
If he's in an open field or something like that, and a deer blows and blows and blows, he may finally just say, "Hey, listen, you know, something may not be quite right here. So let me just back on off out of here."
Right. But to me, I think you'd be doing yourself more of a disservice to get down and move at that point, because you know usually it's already deer moving because the deer's blowing.
I mean, if the wind has shifted and it's going straight to the deer consistently,
then you might have a.
You know, you got more than a problem of just the deer blowing you. You've got a whole
messing up the whole
and
area. Yeah. So, all right, let's see. Well, folks, it's time to close the show for tonight, Mike. It's already been an hour.
It went by quick, didn't it?
Golly. Well, folks, we'll be back next Thursday night doing the same thing. Is next week, Baby Net? That's the one. It is next week, isn't it? Yep. So Mike and I won't be on the show. It'll be Don's live seminar. Then we'll be back probably after that. So we appreciate you having tonight, folks. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.